When I was 16 years old, I was the oldest one, of course, and Joyce, Robert, Marion, and because Earl was gone by then. My dad said, "You can't sit around all summer. You got to get out and earn. You got to get out and earn a living. You're not going to sit around here all summer and waste away." And so you need to get a job in town. You need to get a job as a hired girl, helping other farmers, because mother had a couple kids could help her. And not only that, expensive trying to support 4 little kids and so forth. So we went to Moose Jaw, and mother went into the post office and called the Department of Employment to see what hired girl positions were open. And there was one position open in Belle Plaine, Saskatchewan, which was about 70 miles from where I lived. Yeah. And they said, they said they wanted to hire a girl. So mother pretended she was me, and she phoned these people and said, "I understand you're looking for a hired girl. Yes, I'd like to meet you and see about coming to work for you." And it was $40 a month that she was offering, and their name was Andy and Helen Chapman out of Belle Plaine, Saskatchewan. And this is about 35 miles east of Moose Jaw, between Moose Jaw and Regina. It was out in the country, and it was a farm home, and they had no children. And they said they needed a hired girl to come and get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, get breakfast ready for the hired men at 6, because they were wheat farmers. And I had to go and then get up at, I never got up at 5 o'clock in the morning at my house, help Helen get breakfast ready. Well, that only lasted 2 days. And finally, he said, "Now we got to go to town. I need another hired man." And I said, "Andy, I'll be glad to help you. I know how to drive tractor." Yeah. And so I decided to get on so he said, "Really?" And so I showed him where I could drive a tractor and plow and swab and cut and use the binder and milk cows. I said, so it turned out that they had to go to town and hire another hired girl. Yeah. And I got to go drive tractor and right away, and I am the one that got to get up and come in and have breakfast all made for me. And so that's the way I got that job. But when I first got, my mother was almost in tears when she had to pass me over to them. They had a truck. They had like a 3-passenger truck, and we met at Johnson Dairies, and mother kind of said she knew so and so and so and so and so, so they kind of knew some of the same people, and I thought, but I didn't know where I was going, and mother had tears just to pass me off to strangers. In those days, you don't know who you're passing yourself off. It's even worse today. But you know what? They had a little bulldog in the car, black and white. His name was Jigs. And you know what? I think maybe we weren't right there. I think we met in front of the post office or something. We drove over. This is many years ago. We drove over to Johnson Dairies, a dairy, and Andy went in to go get his ice cream. And Andy came out carrying 4 cones. And I thought, 4 cones? There's only 3 of us. Yeah. What's 4 cones for? Dog? Yes. I had no idea. I had never seen anybody go buy an ice cream cone for their dog. You know what? Right from that point on, I thought, I must be in good hands. They gave one to me. Yeah. And from that day on, they brought a cone out for Jigs. Yeah. And Jigs sat there, and Andy fed it to Jigs, and I ate it. And from then on, I worked for them for about 3 years, and they're like my second mom and dad. They even came from Canada to California for Bob and my wedding. And they were like second parents to me over all those years. Yeah. So what a good thing came out of that. Yeah. What a good thing. I would go to the fair with them. I had so much fun with them that I didn't have I drove combine. And I told him I could drive electric. I got 2 brand new pusher combines, and I was able to drive one of them, and Andy drove one of them, and we hired men to drive the trucks, the wheat trucks, to come alongside and haul the wheat to the granaries or to town, which I was doing. But I was only 16 when I did that. And so that's the story of Jigs and going out as a hired girl.
Well, they had some guys that they hired.
Yes.
That said they were experienced.
Oh, they did. Oh my gosh, they're from down east. They're in French Canada, and they're from down east. They didn't know diddly squat what they were doing. And honestly, also, they were supposed to milk cows. So when I would get done harvesting, and with driving the tractor and be all dirty and stuff, I would also milk cows, and I showed them how to milk cows because I knew how to milk cows from being from a farm. Yeah. Do you know how to milk cows?
No.
That's an experience.
I bet it is.
Do you know what side you milk from?
No.
The right. You always milk a cow from the right. You always get on a horse from the left side. Horses get used to getting on and off certain sides. Normally, now at the ranch, people get on and off whatever. But normally, I was trained to always get on a horse on the left as you're facing the horse, the right-hand side. And when you milk a cow, you always milk a cow on the right-hand side. And if you don't, the cow could start kicking you. When you're sitting down with a little milk stool, you have a little stool like this, and you hold a little stool, and you hold a bucket of milk, and you sit down, and you put your head up like this, and you milk cows like this. Yes. Day and night. So you're stuck on the farm.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I'd get up there, and maybe if I was out there by 7 and at school by 9, I was lucky.
Oh, okay.
Because I was on the farm. You do have to go to school earlier than Grandma does.
And what would you do if there's cats out there while you're milking?
Oh, the cats they'd all be sitting there. The cats that were in the barn would all come and they'd sit there, and I'd squirt them milk, and they'd go. I'd squirt the milk right in their mouth. Yeah, because they then I'd give them a little dish of milk before I left. But they'd be sitting there waiting. I knew what they were sitting there waiting for. They'd be sitting there waiting, and they would actually just, as I would squirt a stream of milk to them, you just have to make your hand go like this to make that stream of milk really come out good. You just can't go like this. And I'd squirt a stream of milk to them, and they go, yeah. And if a dog went in the barn and scared the cows could kick and jump and everything, but they had their heads in a stanchial, so they couldn't really move around, but they could kick. And my cow was particularly kind of rough, and she liked to kick, but I used to have to put kickers on her. And kickers go around the back of the heel like this, and goes around like this, and goes around like this, and you're tightening it down. And if she's going to kick, she's going to kick with both feet. They'll go straight out. Otherwise, she'd give a big kick to you, and you could go flying. And I did go flying. And then I'd go in the house, and I'd have to get ready and go to school. And the cow maybe in the wintertime be laying in the manure, and I'd try to curry comb it down, and I felt like I wasn't the best smelling little girl as I went to school, because I'd have to milk the cow before I went to school. And we never had running showers. We never had running water in our house.
Oh, jeez.
I know.
Yeah, until 1973.
Until about 70.
And the mobile home when they took down the farmhouse, Robert got running water in the mobile home.
Well, that's true.
But never had water before.
No, that's true. We had a pump, when we put water down in a well, and we had a pump.
In the cistern.
Actually, we carried water. We carried water by buckets full from the pond, which was from here to about Kmart, from Mountain Mike's. To carry buckets of water for all our household use. But we had rainwater that would come off the side of the house on a barrel for our washing water. But our drinking water all came from a special well. And if it got too low, we had to go take a water wagon and go bring water home from 2 miles away from the Lake School well. Yeah. So that was an experience. Grandma had lots of fun doing all sorts of stuff, and that's why Grandma entertained herself, standing on a horseback, riding a horseback, pretending I was a trick rider, plus doing my chores. So anyway, that's the story. That's enough story of that. I better go back to the.
Okay,
You guys go boating.